Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Market Brief. Let's catch up on what's moving in markets today. Good morning. It's Monday, January 26th, London Open. Two themes stand out this morning: a powerful flight to safety pushing gold to fresh records as the US dollar wobbles, and a firmer yen on rising intervention risks, while Europe waits on a modest German business sentiment check. Starting with the global picture, gold is front and center. It's holding near new highs above $5,000 an ounce, with silver above 100, as investors hedge geopolitical tensions stretching from the Middle East to the Arctic, and fiscal worries in the background. Some analysts frame it as a shift from financial assets toward hard assets, with a louder conversation around de-dollarization. For traders, that matters, because it links directly to broad dollar sentiment. In Europe, the data slate is light. The German IFO survey is expected to edge up, echoing recent improvements in ZEW and purchasing manager readings. But it's unlikely to move the European Central Bank's stance, so any market reaction may be limited. We also hear from ECB policymakers today, including Joachim Nagel and Robert Holzmann's successor in Austria, which could color the tone but is not expected to be groundbreaking. Meanwhile, the currency market is digesting competing safe haven and policy signals. The euro is advancing against the dollar, with some desks flagging the 1.19 area as the next marker if the US currency continues to weaken. Sterling is firmer too, with pound-dollar trading at its strongest since last September, after better-than-expected UK retail sales and purchasing manager data. The Australian dollar is on the back foot as risk appetite cools and the greenback steadies, while dollar franc has bounced after an early gap tied to renewed tariff rhetoric. In Asia, the yen is strong, with dollar-yen hovering near 154, as Tokyo officials reiterate they're ready to act on excessive moves. Japan's new prime minister also floated a 2-year suspension of the reduced food tax, a domestic support measure that could cushion households. And just to round out the emerging picture, the Indian rupee hit a fresh all-time low against the dollar on Friday, amid equity outflows, though a softer dollar could offer a steadier start today. Dollar Canada is grinding lower within a descending channel, consistent with a weaker greenback bias into the week. Turning to markets and sectors, the takeaway is straightforward. Elevated haven demand and a softer US dollar underpin precious metals, while yen strength tightens financial conditions in Asia and weighs on carry trades. European currencies are supported at the margin by better data and the dollar's drift, but that's tempered by a mixed global risk tone. Looking ahead, it's a relatively quiet calendar. Watch the German IFO mid-morning, followed by a run of ECB remarks through the day. The US session brings older, volatile durable goods figures for November, and the Dallas Manufacturing Survey, both typically low impact. What I'll be watching today? Gold versus the US dollar, for signs the uptrend extends as haven flows persist and the dollar stays soft. The dollar against the yen, looking for a downtrend to hold if intervention risks remain front of mind. The euro against the dollar, watching whether momentum carries it closer to 1.19 on policy uncertainty in the US. And the pound against the dollar, gauging if recent UK data keeps sterling on the front foot. For beta, the Aussie against the US dollar, where a cautious tone argues for a softer profile. The closing takeaway: markets are defensive, rotating towards safety and hard assets, and the path of the dollar looks increasingly sensitive to policy signals and geopolitical headlines. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Market Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice, trading recommendations, or investment guidance.